I let God take care of it. Really, I wake up every morning and get ready to go to the gym. I don't really pay attention to everything that's going on, but I'm truly blessed to be in this position, really, and wherever it happens, I'm looking forward to taking my talents to wherever I go.
I don't believe it!
The most amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending.
It's DA's top story.
Here he goes!
It's your cold open.
That was Markelle Fultz. I like that he used the taking my talents to. I mean, that has now just become the default for everybody. I want to take my talents to. From a Sixers standpoint, I like this a lot. I like this a lot because from Philadelphia's standpoint, you then have a scoring point guard to run your offense. You've got a dynamic shooting swingman, either the 2 or the 3, in Ben Simmons, last year's #1 pick. And you have Joel Embiid to be your big man down low, who looks like he could be a generational talent if he can stay healthy. And then add Rookie of the Year Dario Saric in the mix. And lo and behold, the Sixers have the process. And the process worked. Now, that's if Markelle Fultz and Ben Simmons end up becoming stars, or at least really good players, and Joel Embiid ends up staying healthy. But look, if I am a Sixers fan, I am excited for one of the first times ever. I mean, I might be excited for the first time since the 80s. I might be excited for the first time since Charles Barkley left. At the very least, I'm excited for the first time since it was AI in his prime. The Sixers have been dog food for a really long time, and this was the whole idea. Stockpile assets, stockpile draft picks, lose, and get those top-end talents, and some have panned out, some haven't. Most haven't. But if you've got Markelle Fultz, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, and Dario Saric, that is a core group of guys that are all really young that would hypothetically be coming into their own as a core group, maybe after the Cavaliers have broken up or LeBron James is no longer LeBron James. I mean, project the Sixers 3 or 4 years from now, and that sounds pretty good. So I like this from a Sixers standpoint. I really do. I like this a lot. I know they give up another draft pick to get him, but if Fultz is, and everybody drooling over his potential at the next level, you know what? I like it a lot. And it pays dividends for a Sixers franchise that has been losing a lot. From a Celtics standpoint, here's where it makes sense. If they're not sold on Markelle Fultz. Now, here's the one smokescreen I don't necessarily buy, that they're totally happy with their guard play and they don't need any more guards. Which, let's face it, if the Celtics are going, yeah, we're just going to build around Isaiah Thomas, Marcus Smart, and Avery Bradley, you know, I'm not buying that they think those guys are going to be around for when they really get good. I really don't believe that, because Avery Bradley and Marcus Smart are good role players, but those are not stars or superstars. And Isaiah Thomas is no spring chicken. He's not a young guy at this point. And so if you project the Celtics 3 or 4 years from now, those guys aren't going to be your core. So here's why I think the Celtics did it. Because, number one, Danny Ainge is addicted to picking up draft picks. He's addicted. Just absolutely cannot stop doing it. And I assume it's because he has a grander plan in mind, that he is going to use all these draft picks to go get somebody, or that as long as you have high-end draft picks, you always give yourself flexibility. Kind of look at the Cavaliers standpoint right now. From the Cavaliers' view, they can't do a lot because they don't have draft picks. So I think what Ainge is doing is always giving himself an out. That at any point in time, he has a high-end pick that he can trade, or multiple that he can trade and get something back to strike when the iron's hot. But I don't really believe that smokescreen that they've got all the guards they need, they don't need any more guards, is the reason. I think they just want Jason Tatum or Josh Jackson. I think that's the thing. I think they look at Tatum or Jackson and go, specifically Ainge goes, if we can get the guy we want and pick up a draft pick in it, fine. I just think they're not sold on Markelle Fultz. I think if Markelle Fultz was, I'm trying to think of a guard that has come out as the absolute number one, and you knew he was the number one and he was going to be an immediate scorer, I think they take him. I just don't think they're sold on Fultz, and they'd rather go with Tatum or Josh Jackson, which, look, I can't blame them. If that's the guy that they want, then that's the guy that they're going to get, and you pick up a draft pick. But I think for all of this with Boston, you know, at some point, I feel like the Celtics are going to have to make a big move, because you can collect all the draft picks you want, but then you're still stuck in no man's land, because this year, you were the number one seed, and yes, you get to the Eastern Conference Finals, and maybe that's enough for some fans, maybe that's enough for that organization, but they're not really a contender. And so if they add, let's say, Josh Jackson, and they have Jaylen Brown, they have Isaiah Thomas, and they have Al Horford, okay, again, it's a good team, but that doesn't put them over the top against the Cavs. If you sign Gordon Hayward, again, makes you better, but does Hayward and Josh Jackson and another year of the rest of those guys like Jaylen Brown growing up, again, is that enough to get them over the top? I don't think so. So my guess is that Ainge is even understanding the limitations of drafting who he wants at number 3, maybe signing Gordon Hayward, having another year of Jaylen Brown, keeping these guys together, and then still realizing that's still not enough, which is a scary reality, but that is the reality. That's a scary NBA, that even that's not enough, but that's today's reality. Your phone number is 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. And I like Jackson. I like Tatum. I like Fultz. I even like Lonzo Ball. I mean, there's a lot to like about all those guys. But there is the inherent risk in any of them, because we only have 1 year of a body of work. And for Markelle Fultz, his team didn't even make the tournament. They were terrible. Yikes. For Jason Tatum, Duke was great, but Tatum was injured and never really part of the bulk of the season. Lonzo Ball has crazy pops, but also when he went up against Kentucky, got totally shut down. There is a risk inherent in all of these guys.